All right, listeners, buckle up, because today we're going deep on Irem. Yeah, the R-type folks. But Irem is a lot more than just blasting aliens.
Oh, way more.
This is going to be fun. We've got articles, videos, interviews, the whole shebang.
We're talking early days, the hits, some rough patches, and
Ooh.
maybe even a little rivalry or two.
A little rivalry, never hurt anyone.
Exactly.
So where do we even begin with this whole Irem story?
Well, imagine 1969, Osaka, Japan.
Groovy.
Our guy, Kenzo Tsujimoto, he's running a candy store.
A candy store. Okay, not quite the arcade scene I was picturing.
Not yet. But he's got those kid-friendly pachinko machines, you know?
Pachinko. I see where this is going.
And that spark. Those machines, they lead him to start International Playing Machines, IPM.
Candy to pachinko to video games. That's a level up.
Oh, yeah.
But wait, IPM, they didn't stick with that for long, did they?
Not at all. Turns out sharing initials with a certain giant wasn't ideal.
You mean IBM?
The one and only. So 1978 rolls around and boom, they become IREM, International Rental Electronics Machines.
Not quite as snappy as Sega or Nintendo, but hey, it works.
It does.
So IREM's on the scene. Arcades are exploding in popularity. What were their first games like?
Well, remember the Space Invaders frenzy?
Like, I could forget.
IREM jumped right in. IPM Invader, one of the first to really ride that wave.
Smart move. Everyone wanted a piece of that alien blasting action.
You know it.
But I'm getting the feeling things weren't all sunshine and high scores.
Well, you're catching on. See, early 80s, things get a little dicey.
Dicey how?
Markets flooded with Space Invaders clones. Everyone wants the next big thing.
Yeah, kind of like falling down a bottomless pit. And what's that game?
Spelunker.
Spelunker, you said it. And, yeah, that game earned its reputation.
That's a kusage, right?
You know it. Shitty game, basically.
All
But
right.
here's the thing.
What's up?
It was so hard, so unforgiving, it became legendary. You die from just, like, breathing wrong.
I remember that. And even Irem leaned into it. They released an anime making fun of themselves, the whole thing.
So they knew it was, shall we say, uniquely challenging.
Exactly. But hold on, because things are about to get even more interesting. Remember our candy store friend, Kenzo Tsujimoto?
The founder, yeah.
Around this time, he decides to leave Irem.
Oh, things are rough, and the founder bails.
He doesn't just disappear, though. He goes on to start a new company. Maybe you've heard of it.
Go on.
Capcom.
No way. Capcom.
The one and only.
So the guy who started Irem is also the brains behind Street Fighter, Mega Man, Resident Evil.
Whoa, it's a wild twist, right? Former Irem founder now leading a major competitor.
Talk about a setup for some serious rivalry.
Oh, you know it. But we'll save that story for the next level of our deep dive.
You're killing me. All right, listeners, things are getting spicy. Stick with us to find out how Irem bounced back from all this and became arcade legends.
So, yeah, Irem's in a tough spot, right?
Yeah, not looking great for our pixelated pals.
But they had a comeback brewing. 1984 rolls around, and they release Spartan X.
Spartan X. Rings a bell.
It was Kung Fu Master over here in the West. A lot of folks say it was the first real beat-'em-up.
Wait, Kung Fu Master? That was Irem. I spent so many quarters on that game.
See? Iconic. Side-scrolling, punching, kicking, tons of enemies.
So addictive. I remember those dudes with the sticks.
And get this, word is that Shigeru Miyamoto himself, the Miyamoto, saw Spartan X and was like, whoa.
Seriously. That's like the video game blessing.
He even wanted to work on the Famicom port himself, supposedly.
That says a lot.
Oh, yeah. And there's more. The designer, Takashi Nishiyama, you know what he went on to do?
Tell me.
Street Fighter, King of Fighters. Dude's a legend.
From helping Irem bounce back to shaping the future of fighting games? That's crazy.
It's wild how it all connects, right?
Totally. So Spartan X put him back on the map. But there's got to be another game, something even bigger, that really cemented their legacy.
You're thinking R-Type, right?
Had to be. 1987, side-scrolling shoot-'em-up blew everything else out of the water.
R-Type was a whole vibe. Intense, iconic ship design, those bosses.
Man.
That classic Iron blend. Tough, but creative. Oh, and you know what the R stands for?
Some deep meaning, I bet.
Ray. Like all those ray guns it shoots?
Ray. Kind of basic for such a legendary game.
Haha, right? But they got their inspiration from all sorts of places. Remember the power-up module on the ship?
The force field thing, yeah.
They get the idea from dung beetles.
You're messing with me.
I swear. The devs were obsessed with how dung beetles roll those balls around, saw it and thought, hey, kind of like our ship module.
That's oddly specific. But hey, I guess inspiration comes from anywhere.
Exactly.
Okay, so Spartan X, R-Type, big hits. Irem's riding high again. Did it last?
For a while, yeah. Late 80s, early 90s, Ninja Spirit, Legend of Hero Tanma, Hammer and Harry. They were on a roll.
Hammer and Harry. Love that soundtrack.
Yeah.
But things were changing fast in gaming back then, weren't they?
Oh, yeah. Consoles were taking over, arcades fading.
Tough time to be in the game.
Definitely. And by 1994, Irem's facing money problems again.
Oh no, not again. What happened?
Well, they had to adapt, they restructured, sold off their arcade stuff, and the development side became Irem Software Engineering.
New name, new era.
Kind of, but things are about to get even more interesting. Remember that Capcom connection?
Oh yeah.
Well, a familiar face is about to step back into the picture at Irem.
All right, now I'm really hooked. Listeners, we're not done yet. Okay, lay it on me. Who's this mystery guest star coming back to Irem?
All right, so it's 1997, Irem Software Engineering, and the guy who takes the helm,
Yeah.
Kazuma Kujo.
Kujo. Kind of rings a bell.
He'd worked at Irem before, left before all the restructuring craziness. Now he's back.
So an Irem vet. Intriguing. What was his plan? Take him back to arcades? Go all in on consoles?
He had some different ideas.
Like what?
They were still doing pachinko stuff with Sanyo, keeping the lights on.
Right. Got to pay the bills.
But Kujo, he was into something else. Games about human experiences.
Human experiences. That's a far cry from R-Type and spaceships.
Think about it. Mid-90s, PlayStation Saturn, everyone's going 3D crazy, and Irem releases a game about surviving an earthquake.
An earthquake. Serious.
Dead serious. Zettai Zetsume Toshi.
Which means?
Disaster report to us. Crumbling buildings, rescuing people, tough choices.
Whoa, that's heavy. And Kujo's the one pushing for this.
Exactly. Totally different from what folks expected from Irem.
It's like they're saying, we can do serious stuff too.
Right. And for Japan, with all the earthquakes, it must have hit differently.
Powerful stuff. But they didn't lose their sense of humor entirely, did they? All those April Fool's jokes.
Those were classic. And they kept it up, even with this new direction.
Give me some highlights.
One year, they announced Irem Burger. Like a whole restaurant, website, pictures of burgers people were calling to order.
No way.
Until they realized, wait, this is Irem?
Gotta love it.
And remember the crowbar from Disaster Report?
Yeah, for clearing debris.
They started selling real ones on their website.
Get out. Did anyone actually buy one?
Who knows? But the best April Fool's thing ever. It's gotta be Doki Doki Suikoden.
What's that?
It was a fake announcement in 2001. A dating sim. Set in the Suikoden world.
A dating sim. From Irem. Come on.
Everyone thought it was a joke. And then,
Yeah.
2011, they actually released it.
They turned a decade-old joke into a real game.
Yeah.
That's incredible. What does that tell you about Irem?
They didn't take themselves too seriously,
Oh,
even while doing serious stuff.
I like that. So they're experimenting, having fun,
Mm.
but then 2011 happens, right?
Yeah, a huge tragedy. The Tohoku earthquake and tsunami.
Irem has been hit hard.
They stopped development for a while. Eventually, Kujo and some others left, started a new company called Granzella.
Kind of mirrors what they were doing in Disaster Report.
Life imitates art. It was a turning point for sure.
What happened at Irem after that? New games.
They kept doing pachinko with Sanyo, and there have been re-releases of their old games.
Ah, so folks can still experience those classics.
Yep. Even physical copies of some. R-Type 3, Super R-Type, even Metal Storm. But new games, that's the big question.
So are they still making console games today?
Right now, it seems like pachinko and re-releases are their focus.
Oh.
But there's a cool twist, though.
Oh.
Remember Granzella, the company Kujo started?
Yeah.
They got the rights to Disaster Report, kept Kujo's vision going.
So his work lives on?
Yep. And get this. Granzella also released R-Type Final 2.
What? So even though Irem might not be making console games themselves,
Their biggest franchise is in the hands of their former employee.
it's like a video game family reunion. From candy to pachinko to earthquakes to dating sims, Irem's story is wild.
And it ain't over yet.
That's right. So what do you think, listeners? What's next for Irem? Will we see him back on consoles? And what Irem game needs a comeback? There's got to be some hidden gems out there. Let us know your thoughts. Keep exploring those arcades. And hey, maybe you'll stumble upon the next R-Type. That's all from us. See you next time.
Game on.